Welcome to Falls Count Anywhere, where the wrestling ring meets the heart. Hosted by the gentleman Jody Powell, join us as we dive into the latest pro wrestling news and rumors, from the electrifying world of WWE to the inspiring stories of wrestling for Christ. This is your all-access pass to the action, the faith, and the hope. This is Falls Count Anywhere.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Falls Count Anywhere. I'm your host, the gentleman Jody Powell, and with me, as always, is the mad scientist, and he's deep inside the Buchanan Laboratory, Mike Buchanan. Mike, buddy, how are you, man?
I'm fine, Jody. How are you?
I couldn't be better. I could be better, but I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
Hey, man, so I have the only thing that I'm struggling with is, I was getting ready for the show and I couldn't find my pair of socks. What have you got for me, man? Anything that can help me down there in the laboratory?
Sometimes I do my socks and I can't find lids, and then sometimes I find them both together, but the lids don't fit the right containers anymore. So I thought what I might do is find some kind of beeping mechanism or airtight communication that whenever you put your socks in the washer and dryer, when they come out, they'll always beep so you know which ones are which. And they'll help each other up.
So if I lose one, it'll just start beeping because it's not with his mate.
Yes.
You're talking about monogamous socks?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, really, because I'll be honest with you, my socks are swingers, Mike, because I'll just grab one and grab the other, and they're the pair for the day.
Even if they're the wrong color, or different colors, I should say.
What color they are, if I'm wearing pants, it's going to cover them up. Doesn't matter.
That's why I wear boots a lot of the time.
I love the idea, my friend. I love the idea. Well, here's an idea for you. Let's talk about SummerSlam. Excuse me. Oh, we're a week out. I guess a week, maybe 10 days out from almost 2 weeks out from SummerSlam, and had some fallout from it, and we haven't had an opportunity to just kind of go back and touch base. And I want to do it real quickly because there's another topic I really want to get to and talk about. But let's talk first about some of these bigger matches. Seth Rollins, you and I called it, my friend. Is it a work? I think it's a work. I think he's not really hurt. We said that a few weeks ago. And what happened? CM Punk was champ for less time than Drew McIntyre was at WrestleMania. And I think that's a really good way to bring that back around. And it wasn't mentioned really, but Punk cost McIntyre at SummerSlam, and now.
Oh yeah.
He cost McIntyre with the Money in the Bank, and then and so what happens at SummerSlam is CM Punk gets cashed in on, which I thought was interesting. I like it. It was a little predictable, only because we predicted it, and I'm not the brightest bulb in the drawer, so if I could predict it, it was kind of pretty obvious there, I think. But it was fine. It was fine. Let me tell you what wasn't fine. What wasn't fine is seeing what happened to Gunther. Just destroyed his face and apparently suffered some really serious injuries.
Yeah, I don't see exactly how it happened, Jody. You and I were talking about it before.
Yeah,
we went on the air. I didn't see an impact that would have done that, but I also can't see them to use an old school term, blading himself. So that's bad.
It was ugly. I think when he went down on that announce table, you couldn't see it on TV. I went back and looked. I think he hit his face on the table and it just hit him in the wrong spot, and it just broke his orbital socket. A lot of stuff just happened in his facial region. So kudos to him for finishing that match. First of all. Big ups to
best wishes to him for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely, because WWE is going to need him. I'm just not seeing it here. Cody Rhodes is our undisputed WWE champion again. Yay, whoopee! That brought in the return of Brock Lesnar, and apparently that's going to be John Cena's swan song. Please, Just end it quickly. And it's the irony is not lost on me that Lesnar came back to attack Cena at SummerSlam, where Lesnar took Cena to Suplex City many moons ago. But if John Cena asked for this, there's all kind of things around Brock Lesnar that it's like, ooh, I don't know that you want to bring him back. And apparently, WWE legal had cleared him 4 weeks ago of any illegal activity when it comes to the charges and the lawsuit. But just because you're cleared of criminal activities doesn't mean you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So I have zero interest in a Cena Lesnar, not because of that, but just because I just don't like Brock Lesnar. I don't like the infrequency. I don't like the way he's used. I don't like his attitude. You know what? I would rather not see it.
Whenever you talk about infrequency, you're saying that you don't want 2 Roman Reigns running around the WWE?
Let's talk about that. Roman and Jey Uso win the tag match, and Roman pulls Jey out of the way and eats a spear from Braun Breaker. No, I don't. I loved Roman Reigns in the Bloodline story. I loved Roman Reigns when he was, showing up for work. I don't love Roman Reigns when he shows up 2 weeks before SummerSlam and we haven't seen him since WrestleMania. And then after SummerSlam is going to take a break until Survivor Series or something like that, something ridiculous. I don't need to see part-time Roman. If he wants to be part-time Roman, he can be no-time Roman as far as I'm concerned. Not interested. He's not compelling enough for me personally to care when he comes back. So that's just kind of the way I feel. Then we got his cousins over in the cage for the U.S. title, Solo and Jacob Fatu, which feels like an indie version of the Bloodline. It just does. I have Fatu is an amazing superstar. He's going to have great success. I have no interest in this.
For any promoters that are looking on how to book a cage match, watch that match. That's cage match 101. Minus the blood, which I approve of, but still, it's the same philosophy.
I mean, somebody's going to get their head smashed with the door. It's happened ever since cage matches were invented. It takes us back to Dusty Tully. It just happens, and come up with something different. I'll tell you my highlight, and I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm not a fan of the Naomi match with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I wasn't a fan of the Becky Lynch match. Because I've seen it 1,000 times. Dominic Mysterio match was okay. It was okay. I mean, it was gimmicky, but he's gimmicky, so I was okay with the ending of that. I knew AJ Styles wasn't going to be Intercontinental Champion either because he's on his way out.
So tell me about the one you did like, Jody. Tell the viewers about the one.
Before I get to that, I got to talk about Jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Kudos to him for taking those bumps. It looked nasty.
Good.
But it just goes to show, and it goes to prove that non-trained wrestlers don't belong on that grand of a stage. Just don't. It was hard to watch. That spot with Logan Paul hitting him with a splash through the table was insane. It was crazy. It was good, but it was one of those spots where it's like, oh, thank goodness it worked. Right? It wasn't oh my goodness, what a spot. Because you just, it just could, so many things could have went horribly wrong, and Jelly Roll would have, could have ended his vocal career, let alone his wrestling career, which I hope did end.
I'll go a step further. They shouldn't be on the stage at all.
No.
If you're not a trained performer, and this goes back to Warren Food, Dennis Rodman, and the Hulkster.
Jay Leno,
Pete Rose even. I was a huge Pete Rose baseball fan, but he had no business attending the Royal Rumble, probably, let alone being involved in one.
I did love me a little Kane, Tombstone, and Pete every time he showed up. I mean, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Let's not let people assume that anybody can do this. Here's the match that I did love.
Oh, okay.
I loved the WWE Tag Team Title 6-pack TLC match. Not because I cared about any of the teams, but because of the spots. It was insane. It was a great spot match, and I was there for it. Loved it. And then one thing that we've learned outside of SummerSlam, and we've got just a few seconds to talk about this. WWE moving their PLEs from Peacock to ESPN. Some people are saying it's going to cost $30 a month to have this new ESPN streaming service. Some people say it's going to come with your YouTube subscription or your YouTube TV subscription or your cable network. Here's the bottom line. WWE is making some horrid business discussion or business decisions, and it's going to come back to bite them in the end. And, these are some of the things that could have WWE kind of in the situation that NASCAR was when it stopped caring about its fans. And, to have someone like Nick Khan say, oh, people are going to follow us over to ESPN. You are so out of touch with the common fan, Nick Khan, that you have no idea what you're talking about. None. No idea. People are struggling. Inflation is rampant. People are struggling to make ends meet. You think they're going to pay $30 to watch that crap product that you've put out? No, come on. Give me a break. Speaking of breaks, Mike, let's take one and we'll come back and talk about the WFC. Fans, we'll be back right after these messages.
In the shadows of King's Mountain, legends are tested and one will rise. All titles on the line. One match to crown a king. The Chris Thunder Anderson Memorial Golden Ticket awaits. The King of the Mountain. 2 hours. One destiny. Saturday, August 30th at 6 p.m. on Abundant TV. It's not just wrestling. It's wrestling for Christ.
Welcome back, fans, to Falls Count Anywhere. And now it's time to dive into the world of Wrestling for Christ and the WFC.
Jody,
yeah.
Before you get too deep into this, speaking of talent or non-talent that shouldn't be in the ring, didn't your commissioner suggest that perhaps you should not touch the talent, if my addled-brained memory serves?
Well, that's a two-way street, Mike. If I am not allowed to touch the talent, then the talent shouldn't be allowed to touch me.
That is also true.
And so, there have been plenty of times that I've been in the ring face down, thanks to a little bit of overstepping of bounds. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as far as I'm concerned. And I'll take care of the commissioner. I'll take care of her one way or the other. Probably by making sure she doesn't watch the show and hear me say that. So, but yeah, man, great Saturday night praise and power hour this past week. We are on the climb. We are on the climb of the mountain to King of the Mountain, which is a 2-hour special event, August 30th, right here on Abundant TV from 6 to 8 p.m. You're going to see one of the biggest events the WFC has this year. And we are starting to see things take shape. First of all, Mike, there is the King of the Mountain match, right? And the commissioner talked about this. It's Royal Rumble-esque, a little different because, as kids, when we played King of the Hill or King of the Mountain or whatever it was, climbed to the top of the hill and you stayed there until someone came up and knocked you off. Well, that's the idea in this match. 2 guys start in the ring. You want to eliminate a guy, throw him out. Doesn't have to be over the top. It could be under the bottom, through the middle, whatever. Get him off your mountain. And the winner of that match will win the Chris Thunder Anderson Memorial Golden Ticket that allows them to cash in for a WFC heavyweight title match. I'm hearing rumors of a lot of people who used to be in WFC, who have never been in WFC, coming from all over the region, wanting to be part of this incredible event. And it'll be interesting to see guys. It'll be interesting to see guys like Shane Austin trying to make his climb back toward the WFC heavyweight title after he lost to AWOL in nefarious ways. It'll be interesting to see guys like, if Dylan Dollar said he's entering in to that. He won the Battle Royal to win the Philippines World Champion, even though he lost it on the mission trip to the American GI. But it'll be interesting to see how he fares in King of the Mountain as he makes his way towards that. He's also going to be in a dog collar match. And that is going to be interesting. That announcement was made on the WFC Facebook page. You're not going to want to miss that. You're not going to want to miss Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour coming up in 2 weeks, where there will be a contract signing for that match. And that will lead to how this match turned into a dog collar match. So you're going to want to tune in 2 weeks to see how that all unfolded. Also on the card, the Enlightened. They're making their return to the WFC to challenge for the WFC tag team titles against Perfect Vision, this group that we know very little about. I'm going to sit down with them before King of the Mountain. We're going to have an in-depth interview with the Enlightened to understand a little bit more about who they are and what this light is that they want to spread.
Will this be in the barn finally?
No, it's not going to. I'm not going to the barn. I found out where the barn is. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I am not going to become a victim of the Children of the Corn. No, we're going to do that in the ring. And that way, if I have to lay my hands on the talent, at least I'm in a place that I feel comfortable. I will to defend myself.
There's a joke about the enlightened battling Perfect Vision, but I just can't quite see it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it needs to be a brighter light.
Probably.
To be able to see that. Hey, General Pickle.
Yay.
Challenging for the WFC Television Championship with the champion Kenny Austin, putting that on the line against General Pickle. And we saw on Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour just how Pickle came to get that match. He won that number one contender match over Nathan Sawyer, all thanks to Dylan Dollar. Well, this past Saturday night on Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour, Dylan Dollar, Jackson Cage against Perfect Vision. Referee goes down. And Nathan Sawyer, who was on commentary with me at the time, jumps up, charges the ring, fights with Dylan Dollar. They fight all the way into the back and leave Jackson Cage 2-on-1 to eat a backstabber from Zachariah Cutter ultimately that cost that team the match. That's what led to this Nathan Sawyer and Dylan Dollar match at King of the Mountain. So that'll be an interesting one too. And then, of course, we're going to have a world heavyweight title match, AWOL. The problem is we don't know who AWOL is going to be taking on. That apparently has been decided, but has been kept a secret and will be revealed at King of the Mountain. So good luck, AWOL, preparing for your opponent. You will have about an hour and 45 minutes to get ready for that match. Good luck with that. But King of the Mountain is going to be a big event, and certainly there's I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the mission trip to the Philippines. Mike, over 3,000 professions of faith in the Philippines because of the mission trip that the WFC took, and that's incredible. And praise God for that. That's exactly the mission. That's the whole reason for the existence of the WFC. So, just all praise and glory to the Father for that ability. So wonderful times. Speaking of wonderful times, fans, the most wonderful part of this show is coming up. Finding Tomorrow. We'll be back right after this. Hello, wrestling fans. The gentleman Jody Powell here. And I want to put you onto not one, but two YouTube channels that you need to check out. First, Wrestling for Christ WFC, right here. Check it out. Every episode of Saturday Night Praise and Power Hour up until the last week's episode is on that channel. And then Falls Count Anywhere 323, me and Mike talking it out right here on Abundant TV and YouTube. Check it out.
When Wrestling for Christ visits the Philippines, we bring more than just wrestling. We bring the love of Jesus Christ. Our mission extends beyond the ring. We hold vacation Bible schools, run basketball and youth camps, and visit villages to share the gospel, offering hope and encouragement to those in need. Since 2017, Wrestling for Christ has seen thousands of professions of faith and lives changed simply by sharing the love of Jesus. In 2025, we're planning to return for television tapings on Abundant TV to reach even more lives. We need your support to continue this vital work. Help us bring hope to the Philippines.
Scan the QR code to donate today and go to our website to learn more about this ministry.
Thank you and God bless.
Hello, wrestling fans. The gentleman Jody Powell here, and I want you to go to Instagram, and I want you to follow me
Gentleman Jody Powell. We're going to get backstage exclusive video of WFC, of Falls Count Anywhere. We're going to talk about the WWE. We're going to hear from WFC superstars. We're going to talk about Finding Tomorrow. We're going to go live. I don't even know what that means, but we're going to do it all on Instagram. Come down, follow me, Gentleman Jody Powell. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Chris Whaley, author, former professional wrestler, pastor, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Jeff Dixon. I am a pastor, I'm a speaker, I'm an author as well, but we have something else we do together.
Yes, we have a great program called The Clash.
Clash?
And it comes on every Monday night at 7:30 on Abundant TV.
Well, I want to watch it, and we'd love for you to watch it too. So if you wouldn't mind, join us on Monday night, and we'll see you at The Clash.
At The Clash, and it's always a battle, so come join us.
Welcome back, viewers, to our favorite time of the show, Finding Tomorrow. And Jody and I thought what we might do, not only for our viewers, but maybe some new Christians out there, maybe even for ourselves, is to start a 7-part series on the armor of God. And that's found in Ephesians 6, verses 10 through 18. Paul says, "Finally be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions, with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people." We live in a world where we're going to start, before I jump that far, but we're going to start with the belt of truth, because that's where the armor starts in this little section. But truth has been kind of stood on its head. I don't know how far back you want to go. You can go back to Darwin and his theory of evolution, which people have put holes in for years and years. But we're not going to run down that road. I'm just saying, it's that was his truth, you know. And the thing is, truth is what's real. For instance, if you walk down to a car dealership with a $5 bill and you pick out a $40,000 car and you tell the dealer, "My $5 bill is worth $40,000. The only way you're going to drive out of that is Grand Theft Auto. You don't want to do that. If you go up to the top of a building, 12-story building, and jump off thinking you're going to fly, because that's your truth. I hope you have a friend with a helicopter really, really close. Otherwise, your truth isn't going to hold much air. Now, Jody, you said something that I had not heard before that I thought was really brilliant about when somebody says your truth, what they're really saying.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mike. Every squirrel finds a nut every now and then. No, but I think when people say, well, this is my truth, no, it's not your truth, it's your belief. And just because it's your belief doesn't make it fact, doesn't make it real, doesn't make it true. It's not the truth. It's what we believe. And, we can hold fast in our beliefs on things. And we as Christians hold fast in our beliefs. But there are truths that are proven. There are truths that are real. And there are truths and there are beliefs that we come up with to make it convenient for what we want. And so, no, it's not your truth, it's your belief.
Now, we came up with a couple of verses that kind of set the two standards for this. You want to read, let's read John 8:44 first.
Yeah. John 8:44, I mean, it's just a blunt statement from Jesus. This is Jesus talking. He says, "You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth. For there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies."
So, I'm not saying that whenever you have your truth that you're lying, but you are being misled, misinformed, disinformed,
Deceived. Yeah.
deceived, and you don't have to be. And the reason for that, Jody, is in John 14:6.
Yeah, John 14:6 says that, and again, this is Jesus talking. He says, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." There's no more blunt statement than that, Mike. I just got to say that, there are people that will tell you, well, I find it hard to believe that a loving God would condemn anyone to hell. So there's not a hell, and we're all going to go into some form of heaven. That may be your truth, but it is not the truth. And, it's a perfect example of when someone wants to believe that or wants the truth to be that there is no bad thing that's going to happen. God doesn't delight in condemning someone to hell, but his holiness will not be in the presence of sin. And that's just the fact. And we all are sinners. And unless we have Jesus Christ in our hearts, unless we have that relationship with Jesus Christ, unless we have put ourselves under the Lord's authority, then we won't have that truth.
And his truth will never lead you astray.
Never.
Now, there's been some happenings here lately. As we're taping this, there was a shooting in Fort Stewart, Georgia, where one person shot 5 others. Fortunately, it looks like everybody survived. But it's just a reminder that is happening too frequently, that you don't know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not sure you have the armor, or that you can obtain the armor because you're not a Christian, just say a simple prayer like we've been talking about pretty consistently over these shows. Just say, "Father, I believe you sent your son Jesus to die for my sins. I believe that on the 3rd day you rose him from the dead. And I believe that he lives now for my eternal life. And I want to accept that and repent of all the wrong things that I've done that caused him to have to do that in the first place."
Yep.
And then find somebody that can walk you through it. They'll help you know what to do and never walk alone.
Yeah.
And also, don't ever, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a new Christian, old Christian, don't ever just believe what somebody behind the pulpit says. Read the Bible for yourself.
Yep. There is truth in that, Mike. There's a lot of truth in that. And the one truth about all of that is exactly what you said. When Jesus says, "I am the way and the truth and the life," you follow that truth. That truth will never lead you astray. It's not going to be an easy follow. It's not an easy life. It's not, this prosperity gospel that's been falsely taught throughout the country. No, it's not. Living the life of look at his disciples. What happened to all 12 of his disciples? They were all murdered for their beliefs, with the exception of John, who died an old man. But still, he was punished. He was tortured for them. But the reward, Mike,
It's indescribable. Yeah.
You know what else is a reward?
Stay tuned, because coming up right here on Abundant TV, it's The Clash with Jeff Dixon, Chris Whaley. Stay tuned.